You said, and I wrote this down, we have not been asked for any data by the Chinese government, and we have never provided it. I'm going to tell you, and I told this when you and I met last week in my office, I do not believe you. And I'll tell you, the American people don't either. If you look at what is on TikTok in China, you are promoting to kids science and math videos, educational videos, and you limit the amount of time kids can be on TikTok. In the United States, you are promoting to kids self-harm videos and anti-Israel propaganda. Why is there such a dramatic difference?
Senator, that is just not accurate. There's
not a difference between what kids see in China and what kids see here?
Senator, TikTok is not available in China. It's a separate experience there. What I'm saying is...
But you have a company that is essentially the same, except it promotes beneficial materials instead of harmful materials.
That is not true. We have a lot of science and math content here on TikTok. There's so much of it. I created a STEM feed for 100 billion views.
Let me point to this, Mr. Chu. There was a report recently that compared hashtags on Instagram to hashtags on TikTok, and what trended, and the differences were striking. So, for something like hashtag Taylor Swift or hashtag Trump, researchers found roughly 2 Instagram posts for every 1 on TikTok. That's not a dramatic difference. That difference jumps to 8 to 1 for the hashtag Uyghur. And it jumps to 30 to 1 for the hashtag Tibet. And it jumps to 57 to 1 to the hashtag Tiananmen Square. And it jumps to 174 to 1 for the hashtag Hong Kong protest.
Okay, so if you don't know what Ted Cruz is talking about right there are TikTok has a different product in China, but it's essentially the same thing as TikTok. But the TikTok product in China, it promotes learning. It promotes different, more positive, more beneficial things to the young people that use it in China, as opposed to TikTok in the United States, where there are self-harm things that are boosted. There are just literally just stupid things that are boosted, so that our young people that are on TikTok basically just have their brains filled with absolute nonsense. Now, what I'm curious about is if this is a chicken or egg scenario, right? Now, are the young people in America fed this content more because of something that TikTok is doing, or are the young people in America fed this content more because they are just generally more inclined to seek out, sillier content, and then the algorithm is going to feed you that stuff. When it comes to these social media platforms, so I did a little experiment with my own Instagram account, taking a little time off social media right now. But I unfollowed everything on my Instagram account. I unfollowed all of these political accounts, like all of that stuff. And the only thing that I follow right now is I follow sort of inspirational content, motivational content, business, entrepreneur stuff, all that other stuff. And what I realized is that the algorithm started feeding me more things like that, as opposed to more hardcore, stupid, silly political content that I can't really do anything with, right? So I'm not entirely sure if TikTok is actively promoting the harmful things to our youth, or if our young people in America are just drawn to the dumb stuff, all right? And I'm being completely honest about that, because honestly, look, I talk a lot about the public education system in this country. I think that our kids are just being dumbed down in a lot of different ways, and I think that it's a chicken egg situation. I don't think that TikTok is making our kids more stupid. I think that everything else is making them dumber. And by the time they get to TikTok, they're searching for things that are lower level.